Hi guys, Gerusek here and welcome back to this channel. In this video I will create a custom trend indicator that will be based on a median price. So let's firstly clarify what is the difference between a mean price and a median price. So mean price or an average price is just a simple moving average, as for example the one that you can see right here on my chart. The calculation of moving average is very simple. What you basically do is that you sum a certain number of candlesticks together or prices together, and then you divide it by the number of prices. So for example, in this case it's 50 candlesticks, so you sum the last 50 prices together and you divide it by 50 and you get your moving average or just a simple average. Using moving average or an average price is sometimes not ideal, and the reason why is that it doesn't work well with skewed data. So if you are working with a normally distributed data, then a simple moving average works very well, or it gives you a true estimation of an average price or of a fair price basically. But with skewed data, so for example, when you have a log distribution or something like that, it doesn't work very well because it gets skewed. Yeah, when you have skewed data, the moving average doesn't give you a good representation of the true average value. Median, on the other hand, represents the middle value in your data set. So once again, if you are, for example, working with 50 candlesticks, what you would do is that you would store these 50 candlesticks inside an array. You would sort the array, so the values are sorted from the lowest to the largest one, and then you would look at the middle index basically inside your array, and that would be your median. So using median sometimes gives you much better estimation of the true average price if you are working with normally distributed data. And for Forex is not normally distributed, so that's why we will use a median today. Okay, so I guess let's get to it. This is my MT5 IDE, and this is just some old script, so don't pay attention to it. And what I will do is that I will open my indicators folder. I will find my YouTube folder right here, and I will create a new file. So select a custom indicator, click on next, and let's call this median price trend, something like this, or you can call it whatever you want to call it, but this is the name of my indicator. And we will need one parameter, and the parameter will be analysis bars. So this basically means how many bars are we going to use for the calculation of the median price. Yeah, and we can give it an initial value of 50, for example. Let's click on next, and now we have to decide whether we want to plot the indicator on the main window, being this one, or whether we want to plot it on a separate window, which is usually used for oscillators. So when I initially thought about this video, I wanted to make it as oscillator, but I will try to plot it on the main window, and if it doesn't look good, we will move to the separate window. So let's just create one plot, and let's call this median line. Yeah, and that's that. And we can change the color to something, for example, to the dark orange, but that's really up to you. Click on finish, and this is your first version of the script, draft of the script. So I will just change the width to 3 so it's visible on your screen, and we can continue. So the process is fairly simple. All we have to do is that we have to basically create an array. Yeah. So let me just also delete these comments. So what we have to do is that we have to create an array inside which we will store the price values, and then we will calculate the median out of those or based on the array. Yeah. So in order to avoid calculating median by hand, basically, what I will do is that I will include one library from MQL5 or for MQL5 that we can use for computing median in this case. But yeah, so let's just do that. So math/stat/normal.mqh, and now we have imported this statistics library basically, and now we can use a built-in functions to calculate median very quickly and easily. Okay, so I think we don't have to do anything on the onInit function because the index buffer is correctly set, and I guess we can move on to the onCalculate function then. Okay, so what I will do is that I will do the standard procedure. So static integer I will be equal to, for example, 500. Yeah. And then I will do a for loop. So for I lower than rates total and I++. And this is our main for loop inside which we will do all the coding. So now what we have to do is that we have to create that array inside which we will store the prices. Yeah, and then we just have to calculate the median. So let's create the array. Or let's create the array right here, and let's call this prices. And we can also set the size of it, because we know that the size of the array will be equal to this variable right here, right? Because this is how many bars we want to use. This is how many prices we want to use for the analysis. So we can just set it right here, and that's it. And okay, like this. Oh, invite index. What? Okay, let me just do it like this, and then array size prices 0. This should work just fine. Yep, this works just fine. And let's also initialize the array 0. Yeah. And I guess we should do this on the onInit function. I think it's more robust approach. So I will create the array on a global scope, so I can use it in every function, and I will initialize, or I will resize and initialize the array right here. Okay, so far so good. So now we have to get, in this case, 50 prices inside or into this array. So how to do it? There are multiple ways. Yeah, we can, for example, use a nested for loop to loop back 50 prices and store those 50 prices inside the array. Or we can use a copy close function, which basically allows us to copy closing prices inside a certain array. So let's just try to use this one. So it goes like this. So first parameter is the symbol. Second one is the period, which will be equal to the period current. Now starting position, so this is a part where it might get a little bit tricky. So starting position will be equal to rates total minus I. Yeah, so this gives us a corresponding index to the bar that we are currently working with. Then count will be equal to analysis bars, and we want to store the result into prices. Yeah, so that's that. And yeah, now we can calculate the median. Like it's extremely simple. So what I will do is that I will create a double variable right here called median, which is equal to 0, and now we can just use the math median function and insert the prices array as an input, and we want to store the result inside the median variable. So this is it. This is how we get the median price out of these prices. Yeah. So after doing this, what I will do is that I will repeat this thing, because now I'm not sure if I were to call this function multiple times, I'm not sure whether the prices array would expand in size. So first, on the first call of this function, it would be size 50, then 100, 150, 200, or not. And I'm too lazy to investigate it. Or let's not be lazy. Or we can be lazy in this case. Okay. So I'm just adding this line of code so I make sure that each iteration we are working with 50 or this number of candlesticks. And then what we have to do is that we have to assign the value to the median line buffer at position I will be equal to median. Yeah. So this is it. Very, very simple script. And now we can check how it looks like on our chart. So let me find the indicators folder, YouTube folder, and it should be under M. So where is it? Median price trend. So we can just leave it like this. Yeah, so now we will analyze the last 50 prices, click on OK. And this is how it looks like. So you can see that it seldom follows the average price. Yeah, the trend is the same, but it's a little bit more choppy. It's not that smooth, which makes sense because yeah, when you are working with skewed data sets, it will look like this. It won't be as smooth, but it gives you like proper representation of the true average price or median price. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. What we can do is that we can change the value to, for example, 200, and we can change this value to 200 as well, just to see how they look differently. And still the trend is the same, they follow the same trajectory, but for example in this one you can see that yeah, it's more choppy. Now the question is, what is the better measurement, basically, whether median is the optimal way to measure the trend or whether it's mean. It's not a decisive, or there's no decisive answer to this question, because what we would have to do is that for each observation we would have to check its distribution, and based on that I guess we would have to decide whether to use median or moving average. But I guess using median is more statistically correct, but I'm not sure, to be honest. So yeah, this is how it looks like. If we change this to day 1 and we change the moving average to 1, median price to 1 as well, so now we have, okay, we can't see anything, so let's for example do 5 and 5 here. So now we are on a daily time frame, and okay, I wanted to try out something, but it doesn't work. Okay, so this is it for this video. This is just another way of calculating the average or the true price. So it's really up to you which method you choose to use, but just keep in mind that there are some alternatives to the average, simple moving average. So this is it for this video. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope it was interesting.